moving on. So the next question reads, determine whether or not the function f of x equals 1 plus 3x squared minus x to the power of 4 is even, odd, or neither. So we want to talk about a few definitions first. So what does it mean for a function to be even, a function to be odd, and a function to be neither? So when a function is even, that means that, let me give you an example of an even function here, okay? So when a function is even, regardless of the negative value of x, regardless of whether the x value is positive or negative, it will always output a positive value, I guess you can say. So a very good example of an even function is actually x squared. So x squared is an even function, and we describe even functions as, so if f of negative x equals f of x, then f of x is even. Okay, cool. So if we said, for example, x is -1, we plug in -1 here, it outputs 1. If we say x is 1, we plug in 1 here, x equals 1. So we now know that f of 1 equals f of -1. So we know that f of x is even. What about odd functions? Okay. So odd functions, a very good example of an odd function is just the line x, or I guess some other line. Let's just say this is like x plus 1, okay? So this is a odd function because if f of negative x equals negative f of x, then we know then f of x is odd. Okay, so you plug in -1 here, it turns out to be -2, and so let's say, yeah, so f of -1 is -2, but f of 1 with a negative sign in front of it is also -2. Then we know that f of x is odd. So when it's neither, these two properties do not exist when f of x is neither even or odd. So now going back to our question, is asking us to determine whether f of x equals 1 plus 3x squared minus x to the power of 4 is even, odd, or neither. Okay, so let's test it out. So f of x equals 1 plus 3x squared minus x4 to the power of 4. Okay, so let's plug in f of negative x. So any negative x value, okay? So what do we get? 1 plus 3 negative x squared minus x negative x to the power of 4. Okay, so we get 1 plus 3. Negative x squared is just x squared, and minus negative x to the power of 4 is just x to the power of 4. So we learned that f of negative x is just actually f of x. Therefore, f of x is even. Cool. So the junior tutor went through the same solution as I did, so this is the correct solution. Good job. Cool. Moving on.